All right.
Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon. Right. So we meet under different banner and on Qualifi. Right. Pataskala, let's run through the content, right? So I don't want to burn your time. Also, first
Sure.
of all, you need access to this Google Classroom. Do you have access to Google Classroom right now? If you're not having, I'll quickly get the this thing given, access given, right? So last week we covered, I think in the previous session, we covered a module called managing change, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to use the same content.
Mhm.
Quality also has the same module called managing change. So we will address that for this particular month, right?
All right.
If I don't see your name joined in yet, would you just join in right now? I have put that link to the WhatsApp group also.
Okay. Let me join to WhatsApp link. Okay, I have got the access and
Is it asking for class code or anything?
actually I have got directly the classroom and some of these documents under Qualifi L4 and L5.
I am seeing Minol Samar Singh, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Super. So when you go under class work, we have this particular content. Just
Okay.
see if this particular subject is visible for you, saying managing change.
Just a minute.
It's right there at the bottom.
Got it. Managing change. There are two documents:
Correct.
managing change tutorial and managing change code.
Assignment, right? So every month you have one assignment and one theory session. So you
Okay.
can start off the assignment now itself. I'll quickly run
Mhm.
through the assignment requirement and go through the content, right?
Okay.
So the assessment goes in the side of identify and analyze resources. So it has assessment criteria. So these are the assessment criteria which we need to give in our answers.
Okay.
So it has to be written like now, of course, we have AI which makes our life easy. But
Mhm.
where people tend to go wrong is like they directly copy paste without giving their analysis. So एक capilla pain or like once you go for
Mm.
second marking and all, even
Okay.
if you pass on the UK and they're like, how come you passed this guy, right? So you might
Mm.
want to understand. So learners may use their own employment context when they are writing their assessments. Assessment tasks are learning LOs and assessment criteria. You're required to generate sufficient evidence. That's what it says. The first part is prepare a report to your director about potential change within your organization. You can talk about probably a software change, or you can talk about a process change, something that
Mm.
you have seen in your organization,
Okay.
um, which is not sensitive, right? Like
Yeah. Okay. Which can be shared.
shared publicly, because two
Yeah.
three people will look at this document, no?
Mm.
And identification of the important resources in your organization. What type of resources you have? Resources means money as well as people, financial and non-financial, both are there.
Okay.
An explanation of the positive and negative implication of the change. If you're trying to do a change, what is the positive, what is the negative side that is there? An outline of the organization's plan arrangement for change, as well as fitness to undertake such change. Sometimes if we say we are going to implement AI, for organizations like Kata Airways, it sparks a lot of safety concerns also. For sunlight or any of the soap, it is okay, we can do it.
Mm.
And worst case, what are we going to get? Sometimes product issues will be there, we have to rectify it. But once a airplane starts going on the air, you can't, in the middle, you can't go ahead with certain changes.
Correct.
Any change that you are trying to make right now, which you think is a good thing that you can talk about for this report?
Okay. And outline plans and arrangements for change as well as their fitness to undertake such change.
It could be about something in your process. Probably you can digitalize a particular process which is manual.
Yeah. Currently, mainly these uh, most of these parts issuance process for the ground support equipment fleet are
Yeah.
currently all manual. It's like there is a uh, systematic process, but mostly printed documents are being used like end to end. It's not digitalized,
Hmm.
so we can look into this also as a potential area, or else I will look into some other area as well.
You can take that itself. Don't overcomplicate it.
Mhm.
Just finish off the assignment.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
these are not like final thesis and all. No, so
Correct. Yeah. So basically, if I will we complete one module and then I'll submit an assignment, then that will be the complete assignment for that particular module.
correct.
Okay.
Uh, so when it comes to this entire process, you can use Scholar, right? It will give you some articles to read on. But it's okay for you to use AI to collect documents also. So if you use something like DeepSeek, DeepSeek is very detailed for your particular subject area. You can go ahead and tell this guy, tell me about digitization and its benefits with examples from different industries. Give me in text in Harvard referencing style and text in APA style with DOI numbers for references. So when you do that, DOI numbers like it will give you an exact link to the article. You will know which is realistic, which is fake also, because AI has, if all the AI currently have an issue with hallucination. So
Mhm.
reference they might end up giving it, and then when it goes for marking, everyone gets into a problem. So
Yeah.
you might want to check on it. So it's okay to use it. Sometimes I even for our PhD level work, we tend to tell them to give it in
Do
a
some.
table and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Only thing is that we have to do some fact checks regarding the content.
Definitely a fact check and write it. Don't just copy. But normally, what guys also tend to do is they'll just copy Control C, Control V, because
Mhm.
language is a problem for the boys also sometimes.
All
Uh,
right.
but what it does is like you summarize it, which is relevant to your industry kind of thing. So once you
Okay.
click on the DOIs, you can see all the links that are working, like Ethanena, you get it, and you can push the guy more and save your time also. That's totally
Okay.
fine. Using AI is fine as far as it's a ethical way of using it, right? So unethical way is where you copy paste and totally rely on it, right? So
Okay.
that's task one.
Mm.
So I'll give you some of the AIs that are okay to use, which will give you DeepSeek is okay. You can use it parallelly. ChatGPT is
Mm.
okay. Gemini
Mm.
and Claude AI. So they are the prominent ones, right? Uh,
Okay.
right. Develop a plan to involve stakeholders in your planning. So stakeholders are people who have a interest in your business, uh, and sometimes they have power, sometimes they don't have power. Like people who are working for, let's say, Qatar Airways, janitorial level staff or
Mm.
outsourced contractors, they are very much interested that Qatar Airways or any of the airlines should survive, but they are also worried about quality standards or regulations that you might internally bring in which will affect their business tomorrow. If you come up and say you need to have ISO accreditation or something that
Mm.
says their
Mm.
entire business goes. So when it comes
Okay.
to stakeholders, there is a matrix called Mandela matrix. I'll cover it right now. It
Okay.
is to categorize and say which stakeholder we have to really look into. So stakeholder and shareholders are two different concepts. Huh?
Yeah.
Shareholder is someone who has shares in the company. Stakeholder who has an interest in your company. It
Yeah.
could be some
Either it's current or it can be potential
potential also.
future as well.
Future. You might have heard, like recent times, it's very currently everyone is talking about is that old age home for disabled people, it got into fire. The owner got
Recently,
arrested.
I understand.
Yeah. So a lot of controversial thought. Till yesterday, no one bothered about that place. But today in social media, everyone is talking and
It's
saying
a topic. Yeah.
it's a topic. So stakeholder out of everywhere, suddenly they can become important. So for every business, like for large organization to manage stakeholders itself, we have a department called corporate communication department. Their job is to make sure stakeholders are happy. But for smaller businesses, there is a challenge, right? So choice and option for proposed change. So which stakeholder will get affected because of the change? Now there might be, if you are working on printed papers and stuff like that,
Definitely, suppliers will be affected when
affected.
they have.
Definitely, paper supply will
Because
get affected. The number of papers and the rubber stamp manual guys, they'll fall into a lot of issues. So task three is produce a plan for implementing and evaluating change. So you decide a change process, but it cannot be like where Donald Trump suddenly goes to war with Iran, right? So you need to have like a proper evaluation. Hari, this is the target. This is what we are planning to do. Kira, there has to be a document. That's how a change process should be, but practically in organizations, if it's like Unilever, yeah, corporate organizations, I'm sure Qatar Airways, all these organizations tend to have a document, right? But
we do have SOPs in
so
place.
those are like
Yeah.
pretty. But if you come and look at a local organization, I had one of our students who was working in Dubai. He came to Golf's Hotel. Fellow was in
Mhm.
a total stressed out manner because the culture is totally different, right? All manual papers, no digitization, no
Yeah.
SOP. The fellow is freaking out. So when it comes to this entire process, the criteria is set out where you have the content, you have so much of marks for each of these areas there is marking that is given, and we are supposed to give the marks from this scoring accordingly. Yeah,
Okay.
so everything is transparent and we are supposed to fix it and send it across.
Okay.
um,
For this particular module, sorry to interrupt.
yes,
For this particular module, there are three assessments. If I'm not
task,
wrong. Oh,
three tasks,
three tasks. Okay.
one word document, that's it.
Okay.
So okay, let's go into this tab. So when it comes to organizational change, we have this particular theory that goes in. This guy called Cotter is a bit of a famous guy. Like when it comes to marketing, there is a theoretical guy called Kotler. For change management, you get Cotter, who is one of the key article writers from Harvard University. Um, so changes are required because sometimes you have to plan and do it. 40 50 years before we could plan and make a change, but now internet is very dynamic. Changes come in just like that, and social media makes it very easy for us to keep track of changes. Certain changes we can see with our eyes right now itself. Some of the changes will take some time, like environmental changes. Only now probably Sri Lankans are taking it seriously because the drought is so hard, and when it's raining so hard. So nowadays
Yeah.
are like talking about the environment. 15 years before, it was just in the textbook about geography or something. It was there, we studied for exam, but now it is a reality. And organizational change is a process by which organizations move from the current state to the future state. It is mainly to increase the effectiveness.
Okay.
Sometimes we plan to do effective stuff, but ultimately crash and burn. Like
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos recently tried to do a spacecraft because he was having cash and he wanted to diversify into space tourism. But for this thing itself, it crashed and burned.
Yeah.
Sometimes some things go right, sometimes some things go wrong. So we are end of the day, a business should try to go under effectiveness. But sometimes they tend to spend too much on these projects that it takes away the real good cash they have inside the business also. Changes may be incremental, which is called as a evolutionary. Now Nokia, where it failed, right? They saw that Apple, BlackBerry, everyone is coming into the market, but they didn't do the evolutionary change.
Sure.
50 years before, 20 years before, we thought Nokia Symbian software was the best thing ever.
That's yeah.
Today we are saying Android and
Okay.
Apple.
iOS.
Yeah, iOS,
Hmm.
you can't beat it. But tomorrow it might be Trump is trying his own phone. Trump one kilaya
Sure.
OpenAI is trying to bring a phone without apps and stuff like that. So sometimes change can be revolutionary also. Um, Certainly, like even in the airline industry, we have budget airlines come and play. It was a totally different ball game which suddenly came and surprised these large players like Singapore Airlines, British Airways. All of them got surprised because of them, but sometimes it's all about transformational change also. The entry of Uber Eats or Uber per se, the concept of crowd sharing, crowdsourcing with the Airbnb, those are all new
Hmm.
concepts, isn't it? So
Yeah.
sometimes incremental, transformational, planned,
Commissioner.
and emergent change. All of these categories are there, right?
Okay.
Sometimes change is planned. Sometimes you have to. COVID comes in, you don't have time to plan.
And
Government tells you, yeah, you have to adapt to it. Donald Trump suddenly decides to start a war. We have to adapt only.
adapted.
Emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first order change, operational changes within the existing framework, and second order change, deep structural or cultural transformation. So second order changes are the like it takes a lot of time to change. Now there is a difference between Singapore and Sri Lanka. Another penalty, the way we deal with it. So all of these different orders of change also is there,
Yeah.
and we have understanding of change models, right? When it comes to change, first of all, you will need to understand what are the physical. Now you're talking about digitization. You have to look into the physical resources, HR,
Physical.
financial, intellectual. Sometimes
Okay.
why some organizations don't want to go digitized is probably they are worried about competitors will copy and take away the documents. So it is something that people consider intellectual property, but it's something that you can look into. And in practice, change manager must conduct what McKinsey describes as a capacity analysis in mapping current resources. Sometimes you don't have servers or you don't have laptops that are issued to people. Like in
Hmm.
academic institutions, we don't issue laptops to everyone. So sometimes the data goes everywhere, and that's a risk that we need to account for. And then we have the Lewin's force field analysis. I'll put a diagram of Lewin's force field analysis.
Actually, I'm trying to click and get this document open. There is some error. I couldn't preview the file. Mm,
No pressure. I'll put it into WhatsApp right now so it's easy for you. 2 seconds.
okay, please. Okay, I got it.
Okay. Right. So we have the force field analysis, Methana, like where is the present state? Different forces are going to affect your desired state. Let's say you're going to go ahead with a digitized operation.
Okay.
Your obstacles to change might be old workforce, people who are used to existing system,
Yeah.
concerns about security. The driving force is speed of information, cost savings, modernization of workplace. Okay? It is a
Mhm.
diagram that you draw. Okay. So when you're
Okay.
going to do your entire assignment, it's important for you to draw the force field analysis also.
This is okay.
You can even put it to a in a paper, you can draw it and insert it. That's not a major problem area. Right?
Okay.
So next area is, if I open in a Word document, it's easier for you to view. Okay. Right. So that's about force field analysis, and Lewin's force field analysis is all about identifying the driving forces and restraining forces. So while normally we tend to think on a paper, no, so normally in our diagram you can draw it and decide it before you start planning.
Okay. So
And
it can be multiple points from the driving forces, and then multiple points on the restraining
restraining.
forces. Mm.
If you want, you can attach weightage also. Now, if you're looking
Okay.
at even though it's a old labor force, still
Mm.
if they are working for Qatar Airways, they have at least some aptitude to be inside their bachelor's salary. At least bachelor's equivalent
Yeah.
way of thinking is there. So you
Yeah.
can, that force you can assign only -1. Something like security based concerns, yeah, that is a big one, but still
Mm.
the parts and the internal information you can still be use emails, right? So you can put a
Mm. Yeah.
-3. So each of these areas are there. And then positive and negative implications of change, you can identify on a dimension level, which is easy for you. So you can copy paste this Word document itself. In that document itself, you can see what are the positive operational changes. For the operational side, what is the positive implications? When you are having everything digitalized, it's easy for you
Mhm.
to get the information fast then and there. Negative implication probably will be hacking and data manipulation if someone hacks
Change.
and changes the data.
Okay.
Financial wise, it's a long-term cost saving,
Cost saving.
improved
Yeah.
content. Negative implication could be high upfront investment because you need to supply everyone with a laptop or a tab.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Human cultural factor. Positive is people, Gen Z will feel it's good. Negative
Yeah.
implication could be Gen X, Y will
Yeah.
feel it's a new because they are used to a particular way of life. So
Yeah.
based on each of these dimensions, you can try to analyze your situation. Organizational plan arrangements and fitness for change, you can use a model called McKinsey 7S framework. So McKinsey talks about 7Ss, which says
Okay.
strategy, structure, system, shared value, style, skills. So strategy meaning what is the organization after. Now, Sri Lanka Post made a big issue when the Sri Lanka police wanted to give online spot fine payment because Sri Lanka Post survives on spot fines, the fines that you go and pay to the
Go
post
and
office.
pay post office. Yeah.
Yeah, so their
Mm.
strategy is surrounded by the entire. Now, of course, they are turning towards e-commerce and all these different types of things.
Mm.
So the strategy of the organization and whether it matches. If you are dealing with a secret service or something like foreign services, you can't go and try to go digitization because security angle takes the frontier priority. So you can run through structure wise. How is it structured? Some structures don't allow you to change also. Systems, if you have enough adequate IT systems, shared values, what type of like sometimes you get culture where they want to change and be competitive. Sometimes you get a culture that says,
This is okay. Just go as the flow.
no, why struggle? Even coming
Yeah.
with the idea, why man, do you have enough time? Go and take care of your children. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have leadership style. Like, do leaders want to change also? Sometimes, if you look at most of the Sri Lankan organizations, local, a CEO stays a CEO for 15, 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go shift jobs.
Mm.
Staff who are there, what is the mindset you are having, and the skills, what type of skills you are having. So all of this matters, and that relies the readiness to change, whether the systems and all the 7Ss,
Yeah.
is it in alignment to support your change? And
Okay.
then involving stakeholders for planning change. So there are different ways to plan a change. Cotter gives 8 steps. That's why he's famous, because he says create a sense of urgency, get people to understand why it is important to change. Build a guiding coalition. You need to, trade unions are there, issues like groups are there, which you anyway have to tackle. Form a strategic vision. Everyone needs to understand with a proper plan saying how they want to make a change. So
Okay.
sometimes slogans are used. Enlist a volunteer army where you need to get people from different middle management, junior management, trade union. You need them. Enable action by removing barriers. You need to remove the barriers that they have. Sometimes it's about concerns about their long term work, or if mistakes can be figured out, or something. Yeah, generate a
Yeah.
short term win. So you need to give them something, celebrate successes, sustain acceleration. So you need to increase the speed of action, and you institute change, meaning you have built the system and you try to implement it and run it.
Okay.
So all of these 8 steps are most important for any organization when they're trying to include a particular change process. And there is a theory called Mandela's matrix.
Okay.
So Mandela's matrix talks about, we share this here, 4 different strategies to manage stakeholders, right? So you're looking at loading, right? So you are looking at 2 dimension, power and interest. How much power the stakeholder has, how much interest the stakeholder has. Government doesn't have much interest, but they have a lot of power.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at that orphanage situation, they had all the power to go in and say, get yourself registered, send for audit and all that. But uh, our most of the time, governments tends to play a very reactive role. Only after crisis or a
This
crash,
happens. Yeah.
they will start digging into it. So power and interest, how much power they have, how much interest they have, and according to their power and interest, you need to handle them. Like if they have power is high, and their interest on the business is very low, you just have to keep them informed. You just keep giving them updates. Like investor community, you always get a corporate communication department that keeps the people informed. And when it comes to people who have high power and high interest, we call them key players. You need to
Mm.
really need to take care of them. Mainly people who are employees, people who are um, fuel suppliers, key people in your business who will keep the minister for your particular department. If it's higher AIB has to definitely be in alignment with higher education minister's vision, what he's trying to do. Because if we go against that, obviously the key player is going to go against us as well. Same way, keep satisfied. High power and low interest, keep satisfied. Yeah, so each of these aspects you can look into and try to draw in a map. Can I give you a few seconds where you can run through this particular model for your current documentation process? Find around 6 or 7 people who will be of key players, keep satisfied, all that, right?
Okay.
Once you're done, you can share it on WhatsApp. Take a picture and put it to the this thing.
Okay, okay, no problem. I have already done a sketch. Actually, I will make it in a presentable way. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp.
Right. No pressure.
I think I am unable to message on the group. Is it all right?
Right.
If I'll
That's
take
not
a
a problem.
photo and WhatsApp you on your number.
Yeah, in my personal number, you can WhatsApp. That's not a problem.
Okay, thank you. I have shared the sketches of it.
Yeah, right. Done. So you have shared it to me through WhatsApp, is it? Or is the
Yeah,
pages
yeah,
to?
on WhatsApp.
Ah, right. I just saw it. Superb, man. This would do. You have identified key players as VP Engineering, SVP Operations, ERP, IT, teams, manager stores. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You have looked at your keep informed as workshop teams, actions, training, SOP briefings. Yeah, Q&A. This is fine. You might have to identify specific like Q&A on new process. Okay, you mean quality assurance, ne?
No, Q&A. No, I mean like yeah, Q&A sessions with the employees. Like they
Yeah,
will be the ones who will have all the questions about once this is gone, the new process comes.
yeah.
So those kind of things.
Yeah. Super. The content wise, it's okay. There is no errors in that. You can use this for the same final project also. So when you're looking at whether the project is right, you have three questions to ask, which is whether it's sustainable. Like sometimes some people come up with a project which is momentary, like it's like a fad, it comes and goes, like QR codes. We remember in Sri Lanka only if there is a fuel crisis.
Well, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, they
there
use
are
it
not
one time, once it's gone.
law, right? So sustainability of the project. Second one is feasibility. Is it feasible to have it going? What is the purpose of having like kind of thing?
Mm.
And acceptability, whether people will accept it to be an ethical project that you can take up, right? So if you are for obviously airlines and all things are okay, but if you're looking at the hospital trade or if you're trying to look at construction trade, you're trying to bring a change, and if you're bringing that change, it shouldn't create problems for people, right? Because it's cheaper, you don't go ahead and do a particular process which will affect their health in the long term. So there is always that concern which you need to look into. And when it comes to learning outcome 3, which is implementing and evaluating the change process, Lewin has a 3-stage process, which is technically often depicted like um, water, where you unfreeze it and freeze, and the change happens. Normally, it is shown as a water-based diagram because you're first of all trying to get people to understand why you need to change. Now, when you're having currently the fuel crisis in Sri Lanka slightly building due to the current issue, you need to unfreeze and give a lot of information to people. And then, of course, you see that people right now, they are taking a hard stance by increasing the petrol prices all the way up to somewhere close to 500 rupees right now. So that change is going on. And then refreeze. What do you do next? Do you propose people to use more electric vehicles and more electric solar power? or do you move back? Yeah. So the refreeze process is most important when it comes to organization, where you cultivate this culture as part of your ongoing effort, rather than, or else people will always go back. Now, when it comes to
Yeah.
QR codes, Sri Lanka, after you starting to use QR codes for COVID pass, all of that, QR was very highly used. But after the crisis is over, people even deleted the QR scanning app because you don't need that, and like that kind of a issue. And
So
change
that will be considered as the refreeze stage.
a refreeze stage. Sometimes you
Okay.
want that technology to be there with you. Like South Korea uses a lot of QR codes. Sri Lanka
Mhm.
QR codes was non-existent after. So that
Yeah.
was a fail. But sometimes you might want to refreeze some of these practices. Yeah. Change implementation plan, there are certain steps which you can take, where you have to talk about the vision, the project aim, resource allocation, stakeholders, training and development. All of these content are important for you to have a particular
Quick
change
change.
implementation plan. So if you don't have a plan that is written down, people tend to get confused as to what is going on. And monitoring and evaluation, you need to have KPIs. Obviously, all of us have KPIs today. That
Yes.
word is very much in our system right now. And there is 4 levels of evaluation, which is reaction, how people react to it. This is this particular author's 4 levels of evaluation. Second is learning, behavior, and results. So sometimes the behavior doesn't change, or how people are adapting it to it. Yeah. So these are
Okay.
all different models which you need to apply to your answer. And you can use these notes to answer, because the notes also are structured along with the learning outcomes and aims.
Okay.
And a quick model, where today we looked at force field analysis, 8-step change model, 7F framework, stakeholder matrix is there. So a number of models, theoretical models are there for you to run through, but it's not mandatory to use everything. Use one or two, three, that is more than enough, right?
Okay.
So there are some questions. If you, when you're free, you can answer them. So
Okay.
yeah, so referencing in this manner, you need to submit at the end of your assignment also. Okay, so
Are
you
you?
get.
Yeah. Can you explain on that, please, regarding the referencing?
Sure. So when it comes to referencing, we have these references at the end text, which
Okay.
is while you are writing a paragraph, inside the text, you need to indicate what is from where you took that
Took that.
information from. So
Okay.
we always put the author's name and the year. And
Okay.
if it is a company, Kata Airways, we just say Kata Airways. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
if you look into sometimes the authors, you have to use the author's surname, right?
Okay.
Uh, because we are not going with the full name and initial, middle name, and all that.
Mm.
We will only use the author's surname, Methana Records 2025.
Mm.
This is a corporate website, Walk Me 2025. Um, the pairs, I think that's a corporate website. Methana, 3 people's names are there: Kumar, Singhal, Chabra, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this we call as in-text references, which you need to write down in your. You can use AI for it to get that
Mm.
help in-text
Okay.
reference, right?
Okay.
So this in-text reference, let's say I want to know about Kumar, Singhal, and Chabra. I should
Mm.
be able to go and see Kumar Singhal Chabra has written this particular title, this particular
Right.
article, and
Mm.
it is published on Journal of Information Systems and Management with this particular DOI number, right?
Mm. 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 Okay.
Obviously, to it will be a waste of time for you to, like, I can search for that DOI number and get this info article.
Mm.
එහෙම back end එක track කරගන්න පුළුවන්, but what you can do is, in that particular references, you can generate. Let's say we are looking at marketing management. This is the book that you read
Mm.
from. මෙතන site කියලා තියෙනවා. Once you click site, you get the entire detail, right?
Okay. Mm.
And let's say you couldn't, like it's a website or something like that, you didn't have much time, you can ask the AI also to do it for you,
Okay.
right? Write the end text reference in APA style for below. Okay. So once you do that,
In text reference. Okay.
right. So some level it will give you the support to write that reference. You can use Gemini. Sometimes some AI gives you better articles. Some ones tend to get stuck also. So you can ask him and he'll give you. So this is where you need to present these references, and it's
Okay.
like a evidence that you have read these
Read
materials.
this. Okay.
So you're looking at around a minimum of 20 to 25 sources, right?
Okay.
So minimum of 25 sources, mainly books, right? Books, where can you get? You can get from pdfdrive.net, Google Books. There are free versions which you can get the books from and read it for you. But
Okay.
mainly use AI, like what do the books tell you?
Yeah. Like a summary of it.
Yeah, you push the button and get the answer. Okay.
Okay.
So that's mainly what we have today. You can just dig into the assignment.
No,
Uh,
sure.
Ideal way to crack this is you can when you get time, write this, type this, and come and show me a partial copy.
Okay.
Then I also have something feedback to give you, and we can correct this as we go along.
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll close the classes for now. We'll
No,
catch
sure.
up next week somewhere this
That's
time.
fine.
If you have
Yeah,
written, or
it's better.
you need one more week to write better and come back to me, that also is okay.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll do that.
So we'll end the session. Thanks.
All right. Have a nice weekend.
You too, Chan.